Tricking the HOA president. I bought my first house last spring, and it came with an old garden shed in the backyard that I planned to convert into a home office. 2 days after moving in, a guy named Ron, the HOA president, stormed across my lawn, yelling that sheds were banned in the community and demanded I tear it down immediately, citing Section 5 of the bylaws. Memo: setting the trap. I spent the evening reading the HOA documents and found no rule banning sheds. Instead of confronting Ron, I decided to test his commitment to the lie. The next morning, I covered the shed with a huge blue tarp and left a note on Ron's door, saying I'd be demolishing it next week and apologizing for the trouble. He texted back within an hour: smart choice. We run a tight ship here. This proved he wasn't interested in the rule, but in enforcing his false authority. I went into investigative mode. I pulled the original city HOA blueprints from 1999, which clearly stated homeowners could build storage structures up to 120 square feet. I spoke to longtime neighbor Jeff, who laughed and said Ron had actually helped him build his shed in 2006. Clapperboard: the public exposure. I waited for the monthly HOA meeting. When Ron stood up during new business, he launched into a smug speech about how new residents need to respect established rules, and how he'd already dealt with a violation this month. That's when I raised my hand. I methodically presented my proof, item by item. I showed the city approval letter from 1999 that specifically allowed the structures. I showed a copy of Ron's own signature on a shed approval form from 2004 for another neighbor. I projected a photo on my phone that Jeff had sent me, showing Ron and Jeff building Jeff's shed in 2006. So which rule did I actually break? I asked. The room went completely silent. One of the board members looked at Ron and asked, "Wait, so sheds aren't banned?" Ron's face turned beet red. He stammered something about misremembering the bylaws and walked straight out of the meeting. The board apologized to me, saying they were glad I did my homework because apparently Ron wasn't doing his. I finished my shed the next month and converted it into an office. Ron resigned as HOA president 2 weeks after that meeting. Nobody bothers me about the rules anymore.